Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and welcome to This Week in Mythic Plus. This week's affixes are Spiteful, Necrotic, where's my keystone? Forget whether it's Fortified or Tyrannical, pretty sure it's Tyrannical. Tyrannical, like I was saying, and Encrypted. And it's a pretty nasty week for keystones, but it's actually a lot better than last time we saw these affixes because they have removed most of the Fervent Strike style effects, which are the mobs that will hit the person that's not the tank if the tank starts kiting. So what is a good example of this? Like the Bone Claw, right? This thing would target the current target, or if the tank is out of range, it would instead target somebody else. So what they've done is they've gone through the dungeon and all the dungeons and basically removed all or almost all of these Fervent Strike effects, which means it's a lot less punishing to kite than it used to be, which is good because kiting is one of the best answers to Necrotic, though Spiteful and kiting is a little bit of a pain because you're going to kind of spread out this long chain of Spitefuls and they're going to be coming at everybody from everywhere, so that can be a little bit of a drawback this week. My biggest advice for anybody looking at doing some keys this week is save your AoE crowd control effects and stuff like that for the end of the pull rather than using them near the start of the pull, because the end of the pull is when the tank will need them for Necrotic and when you'll also catch those first few Spiteful Shades that are spawning, and if you can have those things be AoE stunned, that'll make it a lot easier for the DPS to, finish off all the trash and stuff. Yeah, beyond that, you're looking at Tyrannical being the operative affix as well for timer in a lot of dungeons. A lot of dungeons, they aren't... it's not like the Spiteful and Necrotic are going to slow you down too much, but the problem is they slow you down a little bit, and then the bosses slow you down more. And so if you're trying to push keys, say you were doing something like 23s last week, or not even last week, but like last Tyrannical week, right? Like you're doing 23s on Raging Volcanic. The time cost of the Spiteful and Necrotic is going to make those feel slower. The timer is going to be more pressing, so... That's the problem with this week. This week is not going to be as good of a push week as Raging Volcanic Tyrannical was. But there's kind of not really any good push weeks for the next little while, and it's unclear when Season 4 is going to drop. We could see Season 4 potentially by the time we get to the next good Tyrannical week, which Bursting Volcanic is the next, good Tyrannical week. So, if you're looking for some Tyrannical score, if you're looking to get over the Cryptic Hero cutoff, those could be things that you're going to be... just having to deal. You're going to have to deal with some bad weeks to do that. If you're ever interested in checking what the state of the cutoff is, you can always go to Raider.io and hit M+ season rating cutoffs, and then obviously whichever region you're in. You don't even need to look at the faction-related stuff. You just want to look at the all factions because they've condensed Cryptic Hero. It's just going to be all factions this season. So... 3610 as of the recording of this video is the cutoff. My suspicion is by the end of the season, if the season ends in the next couple weeks, this is going to be something like 3650. And if it ends after the next set of push weeks, it'll probably be 3700 or something like that. So if you're looking for that title, those are the numbers I would be aiming at. Obviously, that's, top 0.1%, so that's not going to be very many of you. But if that's something you're going for, that's the number I would expect it to sit at. But we still have a lot of information that we don't know about when Season 4 is going to come out, and usually what they'll do is they'll give us a 2-week warning, so you'll have 2 weeks to push your score, and that will be when the cutoff will go way up. They've also said about Season 4 that it's planned for later this summer, which technically summer ends on, I think, the 21st or 22nd of September, but most people understand it to mean June, July, August, so... I would guess we'll see it in July or August, but again, we can't be sure. When it actually does come out will be pretty relevant for whether we get to another set of great M+ weeks or not, because there was kind of this good combo, right? A couple good weeks and then a couple of bad ones in a row, which we're sort of in the middle of. Anyways, a lot of rambling about not so much about this week's specific affixes. Again, kiting towards the end of the pull, AoE stuns at the end of the pull. A good tank, if you're a tank as well, one kind of thing that I think people don't do enough of if they're not super used to M plus tanking is, it's like a pseudo kite that you can kind of always be doing, especially if you have passive slows or anything like that, where you're just kind of like fighting the pack and you're just kind of always moving a little bit away, and you just, the mob is not autoing me here for a lot of this if I'm just like kind of slowly backpedaling away from it, right? Like look at this, this mob has its swing timer up and is not actually autoing me for a lot of this time. Right now it's not autoing me, but like it's still in the AoE, it's still in the Rain of Fire. So if you're just kind of slowly kiting backwards in a circle around things, especially if they're slowed, you're going to remove a lot of incoming damage on yourself and a lot of necrotic stacks. And with the way that necrotic currently functions with just the 5-second timer, you know, if you can get necrotic down to like 3 seconds on you, that's like one AoE stun and it will drop off. So do that if you're a tank. Obviously, if you're playing like Brewmaster in particular, you've got a lot of really strong tools for you're not going to have any stacks on single target. Basically, you've got Ring of Peace leg sweep to both let you drop stacks with one button of your own. But even other tanks usually can have a pretty good time, especially if you just, I mean, Hunter's really good right now if you call for something like a binding shot. But yeah, even just AoE stuns, anything like that, you should be able to get your stacks handled with ease. A good time during a pack is somewhere like 50% health in the pack is a good time to just go ahead and try and drop stacks, and then that will facilitate you being able to stay in and keep the mobs nicely stacked and use your crowd control on the Spiteful, rather than like panicking and needing to drop Necrotic as the Spiteful are spawning, which can create some of the Spiteful problems for the rest of the group. Obviously, the rest of the group as well, you got to be careful of Spiteful. I have a weak aura that I'll put in the description that it like plays a gasp. I actually don't have it installed on this computer, but it plays like a gasp when you get targeted by a Spiteful Shade, or you can go into the settings and change it to whatever you want. And that is a great weak aura to have. That will save a lot of your deaths if you find yourself dying a lot to Spiteful. Just instantly alerting you when one is spawning that's fixating on you, because otherwise it often takes a little bit to kind of realize it. So, yeah, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Good luck in your keys. See you next week. Bye.